Yeah.
You want to like him, but you can't.
Are you listening?
What?
Are you listening?
Did you bring me on this show to insult me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all don't want it with us, man. We straight gangsters over here.
Straight
man.
gangsters. Yeah, good morning and welcome back. You are listening to Scout Team Radio. We bring it to you hot and live like we do each and every morning. I am one of your gracious hosts. They call me Loudbeard.
You are the most egotistical, self-deluded person I have ever met.
Who, me? And the man on the other microphone, he is one of the greatest patriots I have ever met. I know him as...
America.
Yeah, it's your boy Chris America coming to you live like I do every morning when I forget to turn on my mic or be on the show at this time.
Yeah, it's your boy Chris America coming to you live this Monday, February the 11th. It is 2/11/2019, and unlike Christian Hackenberg, I forgot to turn on my mic.
Yeah, look at you, man, coming in hot on a Monday morning. I feel like you've got a bad case of the Mondays.
Man, I was sitting here, I got in early, 5:48, which is early for me, sitting in the studio, just listening to us close out our Friday episode, eating some breakfast, checking out some NBA scores, some highlights, some Christian Hackenberg, who forgot that he had a mic on as he's cursing out his performance, because it was a bad performance, Loudbeard.
Yeah, it was. And, you know, when you're mic'd up, sometimes things just flow. Sometimes things just roll. And you know what? I'm okay with it because it's a heck of a show, isn't it?
Well, these guys aren't used to being mic'd up for live TV. They've been mic'd up before, although I doubt Christian Hackenberg, maybe when he was at Penn State. But I don't think Christian Hackenberg was ever mic'd up in the NFL, so it's probably been a while for him too. But they assume that I'm mic'd up, yeah, that's cool. But this is going to go to some NFL films, some ESPN highlights. They'll edit it out. I don't need to worry about it. But the AAF Loudbeard, it puts it on live TV.
Yeah, the AAF, man, they got some neat tricks up their sleeves, don't they, Chris America? I feel like they've got some of the best new technologies that are going to help us out here with watching sports. I love it.
Yeah, and they got some old coaches.
Well, of course, the old ball coach. That's got to be one of your favorites, old Florida Gator coach. You know, he was also a Redskins coach, and me being a huge Redskins fan, I have to say that it feels good seeing him back on the field and actually winning. It's a big difference from what I'm used to seeing. Big difference.
Yeah, they since he's in here in Orlando, our local team, they actually interviewed him, and they asked him about his time in the NFL, if they thought, you know, Pete Carroll, he left, he went back. Bill Belichick, he didn't have a good stay at the Cleveland Browns, but then he had a second chance, and look at what he's done. They asked him if they thought he should have been able to come back in the NFL, and he said, I really didn't have a good go at it. I was promised some things like I would have a GM. I didn't have a GM my second year. The owner kind of took over. Is any of that true, Loudbeard? Is Steve Spurrier not all to blame for his stay in the Washington Redskins?
Yeah, the he's terrible, man. He's an absolute terrible owner, and he didn't know what he was doing when he got himself into what he was. I don't know. He buys the Redskins, and then when he buys the Redskins, he comes in and he thinks that he's going to make all these changes and everything's going to be great, and he's going to know how to win a Super Bowl in a matter of minutes. And it just doesn't work that way. Marty Schottenheimer was the coach for a little while when the owner takes over. He gets rid of him, who is a very, very good NFL coach. He brings in Spurrier. He doesn't give Spurrier the support that he needs, doesn't give him the longevity that he needs to get the program going. He's out of there. It was a circus. It's gotten a little bit better as of late, but at that time, it was a total circus, so Steve Spurrier was set up for failure. So I agree, it wasn't all Steve Spurrier's fault. Not that he can't take some blame, but he doesn't need to take all of it. Oh, man. Talking Steve Spurrier, watching the Orlando Apollos on Saturday night and seeing the AAF taking over everything, social media, just all the highlights on the sports talk radio shows and the big media outlets talking about this AAF. I think it's going to be a great league, and I was excited about all that action that was coming through. Chris America, are you getting pumped? Are you getting hyped for this American Alliance of Football that we've got coming up?
I am, now that I've worked out all of the Monday kinks out of my computer, out of my mic. I think I'm good to go. I realized I had a lot of bad things set up. I recorded some love tips, Loudbeard, that we're going to hear all week, and it's just thrown my whole computer out of whack because I had to change some setups from one computer to another. So I apologize to all the fans, but I'm ready to go now. I feel like I need a take two.
All right, action.
Oh, I thought you were going to play my theme song. Yeah, it's your boy Chris America coming to you live this take two on a Monday. We're doing it. This is Raw Radio, Loudbeard. Sometimes
That's what she said.
yeah. I got nothing after that. I can't even continue. There we go, Loudbeard. You know who didn't need a take two this weekend?
Who's that?
Steve Spurrier didn't need a take two. He brought it. 40 points on the board. I think at one point after Saturday night, the entire AAF scored 36. Our Orlando Apollos, Loudbeard, they scored 40.
That is a heck of a feat. And the good news is we had a reporter live on the field watching all of that action, didn't we, Chris America?
Yes, I was there at the game. You can follow me at Chris Scout Team. I posted some photos, some videos. Got to see the Bethune-Cookman Marching Band, which is always entertaining to see. They always bring it hot with the dance moves and the music and the marching and all that other stuff. No band quite like the Bethune-Cookman. I felt like I was watching that movie, what was it, Drumline, with the kid that's on, that's hosting everything now. Now I can't think of his name.
Ryan Seacrest.
No, the guy that married Mariah Carey.
Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon. Wasn't he in that Drumline movie?
Fire the Cannons. I never saw that movie Drumline, but I'm going to take your word for it. What?
I'm just kidding.
Wow. Okay.
Bringing it hot.
That took a turn for the worse. Okay.
Yeah, so I was at the game. It was a lot of fun, although first quarter, Loudbeard, I was like, ew. It was 3-0. Our first drive, I think his name was Garrett Gilbert.
Yep.
Double G. He threw 3 straight incomplete passes. None of them were on the mark. I was like, man, this is going to be some ugly football. I was getting ready to be like, hey, you want to head out maybe at halftime? Because it was 3-0. Neither offense was really doing anything. Both quarterbacks were highly inaccurate. And it was just bad football. But, these guys, some of these guys haven't played for 2, 3, maybe even 5 years, Loudbeard. They haven't played an actual football game in that long. So Garrett Gilbert, I guess he just needed to kind of get a little of the old football rust off of him,
Yeah, I agree with that, Chris America. These guys are put in this situation where, a lot of times after their college career, they thought they were done, and then all of a sudden they're given this second chance. And they're not really prepared for it, so they've been practicing. They've been trying to get into it. But you don't really know what you're going to put out there until you get under the lights, until you get in front of the crowd. It's a completely different feeling from being on the practice field and actually playing real-life game scenarios. And these guys, you could see, were nervous. They were a little rusty, and everything didn't seem quite right that first quarter. But, man, once they got into their groove, you could tell a lot of these players started really having fun out there. When they got all the jitters out, they really could come and pinpoint their skill sets, and you saw a lot of good talent. There was some surprisingly good talent on that football field Saturday night.
Yeah, there was, and the other thing that surprised me, Loudbeard, were the prices of the merchandise. That was my only sour takeaway from the weekend at the game. It was like $30 for a T-shirt, $86 for a jersey, and $160 for a starter jacket. Loudbeard, this is still minor league football. The talent might be a little bit exciting, but I'm not dropping $86 for an Akeem Hunt running back jersey or a Garrett Gilbert jersey. And it wasn't even like stitched jersey. This was ironed on, just regular old run-of-the-mill. If I can buy like a Carson Wentz jersey for the same price on Amazon, you're doing it wrong there, Loudbeard.
Yeah, the Apollos, I mean, I guess this is where you start building that brand, and you hope that this league takes off and that the merchandise will start selling. And they're trying to strike while the iron is hot. They're trying to take advantage of it being the opening weekend, this being really hot and new and exciting, and maybe that merchandise can sell itself, and everything will be great. But I'm with you, Chris America. People aren't going to buy jerseys if they're that overpriced. I think you got to come in a little bit lower. You got to try to make it affordable, make it reasonable, make it where the normal fan is going to get excited and have buy-in and want to be a part of this. I just don't get the high prices, Chris America.
Yeah, I went in thinking, all right, I went with a family of 4, the boys and Miss America, and I'm thinking I'll spend like $80 to $100 on merch to get the whole family, suited and booted, ready to go for the game, because it was really hard to find a shirt. So I was like, I'll just wait till the game. I know that sometimes stadium prices are a little bit more, so I was expecting maybe $100, $20 a person. That's not too, or a little bit over that, $25 a person. Not too bad. And I get in there, and there's no kid shirts, so maybe they were sold out. Maybe that's what happened. But, every shirt was $30. Like I said, I was expecting the jersey to maybe be $50 to $60, somewhere around there. I would have probably, thrown some bones down on the cash register to get that. But once I knew I was going to come out spending like closer to $160 to $200, I was like, I'm not going to spend $200 on 4 shirts for a league that might not even exist, next year.
All right, so the high prices on the merchandise. Other than that, would you say that going to this first opening game live, was there a lot of excitement? Was this a real football crowd?
Yeah, I would say so. It started off a little low. It was kind of like, I felt like I was at an NBA game. The crowd was as energetic as the stadium announcer and the music and everything playing made it. So if nothing was going on, it felt like you were at an NBA game. Everybody's just kind of, you know how the NBA crowd is. You're just chilling.
Casual.
Casual,
Yeah.
But they really, at first when they announced the Apollos theme, I was kind of like, all right, that's a decent name. It's not bad. But after going to the game and seeing how much they tied it into the NASA program, the Apollo moon landing, and everything that goes on it, Loudbeard, growing up here in Orlando, NASA is a huge part of what we do here. It's part of our culture. It's part of our society here in the Central Florida area. And I got goosebumps, man. They brought in one of the Apollo, I think it was like Apollo 7, one of the astronauts from there. They had him wave to the crowd. They did this whole launch sequence. They're like, we're going to launch the season. And they had videos of, rocket launch sequences, and it just brought me back to my childhood, seeing that on the news all the time. And then they did a countdown, 5, 4, smoke and lights going off. It was awesome, man. It got me pumped. It got the crowd pumped. It was really cool. I'm officially all aboard the Apollos theme and the NASA theme they had going on.
Yeah, one of the big stories coming out of this Saturday weekend after all these games were played were the ratings. It seemed like it held. It seemed like there were a lot of viewers out there. The comparison I saw is that it actually, the AAF football games outscored the Houston Rockets Oklahoma City Thunder game. So that was kind of the story. They said, you get a big NBA matchup that didn't draw quite the ratings that you did in these football games. And, do you think that partially had to do with that it was the first game and people wanted to see what brand of football this was going to be? Or do you think this is going to maintain?
I think it started out with just, what brand is this? The curiosity factor, let me check out this new thing. That's the way it always is, Loudbeard, right? They open up a new Chick-fil-A, And it doesn't matter. We've all been to Chick-fil-A 5,000 times in our lives, but they open a new one right next to your house, and it's going to be packed. It's a new thing. Everybody has to go check out the new thing. Now, I think that because the brand or the football that we saw was really good, I think we'll come back. I think a lot of us will come back. There was a lot of hype. I was surprised and glad at the same time to see how much people loved it on Twitter. The AAF took over my Twitter feed on Saturday night, Loudbeard. It was great to see.
Yeah, it's absolutely awesome. It's good to see the excitement there. Though this is where I'm just a little apprehensive, and you can kind of tell me what you feel about this, but when the XFL debuted back in 2000, 2001, whenever that came out, the first game for the XFL had a ton of excitement, a lot of viewership, and it just tailed off from there. People they didn't buy into the product. So I'm worried that may happen here with the AAF, that people may tail off and that the viewership will go down. But it seemed like that product on the field was a lot better than what we saw with the XFL. So I hate to say that it's just like that XFL when it came out, but I don't know if it can maintain. I feel like maintaining that viewership and maintaining that fandom after that first game is going to be that one challenge for the AAF. What they have to do is continue to build that momentum and grow from there and not have a dip afterwards. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the future what the future lies for us.
Well, one of our good friends, Ian, he tweeted at us last night, and he said, why is the CBS, who has the contractual rights to the AAF, why are they not allowing ESPN or SEC Network to do highlights? And at first I was kind of goofing on him, hey, they don't want Stephen A. Smith to embarrass himself, and maybe they're clapping back at ESPN for not hyping up the league going into it. Now they're Johnny come lately on it, so they're kind of teasing him with it. But Ian's right. They should allow ESPN and SEC Network to show highlights, to talk about their brand, because if they don't, man, we are a ADD society. Whether you have ADD or not, everybody in our society has it. Like, you're hot Saturday night, come Wednesday night, if nobody's talking about you, we will forget that we have to watch AAF football come next weekend.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that, man. You're coming in hot with that take, and I like it. I like how you do that. Now, this was the other hot take coming out of this weekend is the instant review, the replay that was happening with the AAF. They got this right, didn't they, Chris America?
Yes, Loudbeard, they did. And let's take a listen from a instant replay review. They actually, not only do they do the review, they have you tune in to what the person who's reviewing the game or reviewing the play is talking about. They have to kind of speak out their thoughts. And let's take a review of a catch that, so the pass was thrown to the Orlando Apollos player in the end zone. He comes down with it. He's got the ball, and it looks like he traps the ball between the ground and his body, and then he kind of slides for a little bit, and then the defender sort of just slaps the ball out of his hand, and the referees rule incomplete. Let's hear how she talks her way through the instant replay.
To listen in.
Ground, and the ball hits the ground. I'm going to let this stand.
Terry Valenti, the replay
He's rolling
official.
on the ground. He's using the ground to keep it in there. The ground helps him. We're going to let it stand.
So she's going to agree with the call on the field. No touchdown. She feels that the ground helped the catch at the end of the catch.
Touched. Ball is down on the ground sliding. Okay, we're gonna wait a minute, 1 second. We've got an elbow down, it's got it, and touch. Nope, we're gonna overturn this and reverse this to a catch in the end zone for a score by Orlando. He's got possession, he tucks it in, his elbow hits, the ball is in control in his arms. We've got a score.
Nice.
All right, Loudbeard. Now, we all basically watch this, unless you're from Orlando or Atlanta. Most of America watched that game with no bias, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not like
they
you're
came
going
in just open mind.
Right.
Absolutely open mind.
It's not like people went in being like, oh, I really hate Garrett Gilbert. I remember that time he deflated footballs, or Atlanta Legends. They had the Bounty Gate. Like, you went in with just an empty slate on both of these teams and the roster. So people viewed that with an open mind, and they loved it. But I'm sitting here thinking about what we would do if that was the Atlanta Falcons versus the New England Patriots. How she basically spent 45 seconds saying, that's an incomplete pass, the ball's moving around, I'm going to let it stand. And then she just kind of like, she has this like little control thing, I guess, which helps her control the different camera angles. And she went to put it down twice, but then she would pick it back up and check a different angle. And then she changes her mind to, oh, no, wait, the elbow's down, I see it, that's a catch, we're going to go touchdown, we're going to reverse it. And then that was it. Like, she said like 3 or 4 times it's an incomplete pass, and then one time she decides it's a catch. How do you think, if this was the NFL or college football, do you think we would react to that sort of thing? Do we want that, Loudbeard?
Yes, we want that. We're in a world of full transparency now. Everybody wants to know everything about what's going on. I want to know the reason why. So right now with the NFL, when they go to this replay and then they make their decision, you got to get an analyst's opinion. You see the NBC analyst, you got Mike Pereira, or you got Dean Blandino, and they're back there and they're like, well, this is how I would call it, and this is how the rule officially is, and blah, blah, blah. No, I want to actually see what the person who is going to make the decision thinks of the call and why they're going to make that decision. To me, this is great. You get full transparency in a world where social media basically can give you videos of everybody, everywhere, anytime, anywhere. You know what's going on with everybody in the world. You want to know what's going on with the replay review official that's sitting there making their decision. What are they thinking? What is going through their head? And the AAF got this right. They got it so right, and I could see the NFL copycatting this thing in the next year or two.
All right, Loudbeard, so I want you to close your eyes.
Okay.
And I want you to imagine this is Dallas Cowboys versus the Washington Redskins. And you're sitting here, you're listening. They're like, Amari Cooper, yep, the ball, I see the ball rolling around, and she says this for 45 seconds. And you're like, okay, cool, incomplete pass. And then they're like, nope, I see an elbow, it's tucked in, touchdown Cowboys. Your reaction, go.
I hate the AAF. I'm done. The NFL, everybody. I hate all of them. The refs are terrible. This is the worst league ever. I'm going to protest this call. This game didn't officially happen. We're going to have a boycott out in front of the Super Bowl because this call ruined all of the NFL, and we'll never, ever be the same again. The Saints are the real champions. Oh, my gosh, I hate officials. Why do these guys get paid so much? Why don't we have full-time officials? Why can't the world be flat? I don't understand.
I love it, Loudbeard. Now, let's go back to AAF land. Did you happen to see the play, Loudbeard?
No, I didn't see that play. I didn't catch it till the fourth quarter. I got to watch the fourth quarter and on. That was a little bit earlier in the game.
So that was officially the first touchdown in AAF history, and it's very fitting that it belongs to the Orlando Apollos because we are truly the best Orlando Apollos. We are the best AAF team of all time. We are the boat in this new league, Loudbeard, no doubt about it. So it's very fitting that we are the ones to get that touchdown. The thing that I loved about it is she was right, though, in the end. I'm watching the play, and speaking strictly as a biased Orlando Apollos fan, that he did have the ball, his elbow was tucked in, and his elbow hit, and I liked it. That means he's got the ball, he's down, and he's in the end zone. That's a touchdown. And I love that rule because I hate that the NFL makes you go through the entire process of the catch when you don't have to do that for a fumble, right? If you carry the ball over the plane, that's it, touchdown. No matter what happens after that, it doesn't matter. You broke the plane of the end zone, it's a touchdown. And I think catches should be the same, and the AAF has it right.
Oh, yeah. And again, hearing the explanation, maybe it's not a catch, it's not a catch. Okay, it's a catch. Yeah, as a fan, you may got a little bit of sore from that. But you're right. When the elbow's down, there's possession, it's done. That's a catch. That's a touchdown. Move forward. The NFL is doing a bad job of overanalyzing every play. sometimes we just got to move forward, and when it's a catch, it's a catch. When
Yeah.
it's down, it's down. Why are these decisions so hard? And the AAF has simplified it, and to me, as a fan, it makes it more enjoyable. It absolutely does.
All right, Loudbeard, let's go over a few more different rule changes or rule differences that the AAF has that the NFL and college football don't before we go to commercial break. The first one that was very noticeable, no kickoffs, and I got to say, Loudbeard, being at the game, I kind of liked it. It kept the game flowing. They went for their extra point conversion, and then next thing you know, they spot the ball at the 20 or the 25, I can't remember which, but they spot the ball down, and then the game just went right back into action.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and when I watched that, I guess you talked about the conversion and without the kickoff. It did. It didn't seem right at first when I was watching some of the game. I kind of felt like, there's just something not right because I've been classically conditioned to always think that there needs to be a kickoff and an extra point. But when I was watching it, it did. After a few times, I said, okay, I can get this. I can get into this. This is going smooth. I liked it, Chris Merrick. I'm with you. It kept it flowing.
Yeah, and especially the NFL is the worst at that because it goes conversion, commercial, kickoff, back to commercial. That always irks the hell out of me, Loudbeard. I can't stand it.
Yeah, it's awful. And then what if there's an injury on the kickoff or a penalty? Oh, boy.
Right.
A timeout? Oh, yeah, there we go. We got like triple commercials back to back to back.
And I really think I think they've been talking about it for 5 or 6 years now about doing away with the kickoff. And I think now that the AAF has shown the world what that looks like, it'll be a lot easier for us to accept it when, and it's not if, it'll be a when the NFL and college football do away with the kickoff. The other difference is I found out what that illegal defensive formation, you can only bring 5 on a blitz. You can only blitz 5 on the quarterback, and that's the only people you can bring after it. If you do bring more than 5, it's a 15-yard penalty, Loudbeard. Do you like it?
I don't know about that one. That one, the jury's still out on that one. Yeah, I'm a little indifferent on it. I need a little bit more of a sample size to really give a good opinion on it. I don't know if it's for safety reasons or just kind of a competitive balance because it's a new league, but I could go either way with this one.
Now, we did see some huge hits this weekend throughout the league, and people love that. So I think if there's a trade-off that you take away some of the roughing the passer penalties, but you can only bring 5, I might be okay with that trade-off.
Yeah, that makes sense. That absolutely makes sense because when we look back, I remember that Tom Brady roughing the passer where they like brushed his helmet.
Yeah,
and it was like that is embarrassing for football. To me, that's absolutely embarrassing. So AAF is doing it right now.
We've seen LeBron James get fouled harder than that and still have a no call than what Tom Brady got.
Yeah.
Another one, I'm not sure what the exact rule is. I just know that if you want to go for an onside kick, there are no onside kicks because there's no kickoffs. So what you have to do, Loudbeard, is I think they line you up on the 28 or something like that, and you have a 4th and 12 situation. And if you convert that 4th and 12, you get to keep the ball. If not, the other team takes over from wherever the ball is dead.
Which is usually really great field position for the other team. So
if you're starting at the 28, yeah.
Right. So whether it's the 28 or the 32 or the 36 or whatever it is, you're going to get great field position. So you have to feel comfortable with yourself and that it must be the perfect situation where you need that win where you go for it. I actually like that better because the NFL made the onside kick even harder. They're like, we're worried about player safety. Now you can't all line up on one side. Now half of you line up on one side, half on the other side. We're going to make the odds of you getting this onside kick much lower. I think only 1 or 2 onside kicks were actually successful this past year in the NFL. It takes away something. I feel like at the end of a game when you want that team to have that last-minute shot to make it kind of a heroic ending, you have to have some sort of chance. And the onside kick has been diminished. And now, again, the Alliance is doing it right, and they are coming up with a good plan. And this 4th and 12 thing, it seems a little gimmicky, but when you sit down and look at it, it's really kind of a good idea. I like it.
I do too, Loudbeard, and I know as a lifelong football fan, I'm watching the onside kick, and I don't know what the exact odds are, but when you're the fan of the trailing team and they're kicking the onside kick, you feel like it's like a 1 in a bazillion chance. You're like you're already mostly defeated, but you have that sliver of hope, and you're just watching, and then 99 billion out of whatever, it just doesn't work out. It just never does. And you're just, But if it's 4th and 12, I'm sitting here thinking, oh, man, we have so many possibilities here. We can run a plethora of plays that we can convert this. And I'm pretty excited for it. But Loudbeard, not as excited as I am for what we're bringing up on the other side of the commercial break. Did the Magic throttle the number 1 team in the East? Question mark.
When I'm working hard, I build up a thirst for sports. That's when I grab a cold 12-ounce sports radio. Ah, 12-ounce sports radio. Quench your sports thirst.
Scout Team listeners and friends of the show, I've got something special for you. It looks like 12-ounce sports radio has done it again. We have partnered with Rally House. You just go to the website 12ozsportsradio.com. Click on the banner on the right side of the page, and it will take you directly to Rally House. Rally House has some of the greatest, most unique sports items for that diehard fan, casual fan, and anybody and everybody out there that is special in your life. So go ahead and check it out. Once again, go to that website, 12ozsportsradio.com. Click on the banner to the right of the page, and you will get taken to the best sports merchandise website on all of the interweb.
Hey everybody, it's your favorite Patriot, Chris America, and I want you to listen every single weekday, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and on replays from 11 a.m. to noon of Scout Team Sports. Listen, George Washington did not cross over the ocean blue in 1492 to defeat the Nazis, so you can listen to the same tired national clickbait sports stories. So once again, tune in to us every single morning, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and then we replay from 11 to noon. I will see you there, and God bless America. Oh, hey, didn't see you there. I'm Chris America, and you might remember me from Scout Team Radio, heard every weekday on 12-ounce sports radio from 6 to 7. But no, I'm not here to talk to you about the show. You see, it's Valentine's Day week, and I'm here to talk to you about love. Well, the reason why is because some people, they call me the space cowboy, while more importantly, other people call me the gangster of love. And for some reason, which I still don't know why, some people call me Maurice, which is kind of weird. But it's all because I speak the pompatus of love. So keep listening all week as I drop love tips and knowledge here on 12-ounce sports radio. See you next time.
Yeah, welcome back. We want to thank all of our listeners out there for listening in. Once again, we are Scout Team Radio, bringing it to you hot and live each and every morning at 6 a.m., replay on at 11 a.m. on 12-ounce sports radio. You can also catch us on our podcast, which is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, and anywhere you can find a podcast, including our website, scoutteamradio.com. We are also a part of the Barn Burner Podcast Network. Make sure if you're listening to us, if you're on Barn Burner, that you hit us up on Twitter. We like to get interactive with our listeners. Even if it's not listening live, if you're listening back to the podcast, tweet at us. We may take your subject, your commentary, your argument, whatever it is that you have, and we may talk about it on the air. We love to get interactive. Make sure you hit us up at Scout Team Radio on Twitter. That's the easiest way to get a hold of us here at the Scout Team. Oh, man, I am excited about this week. I no longer have a bad case of the Mondays because we had a great weekend with the Football Alliance. Chris America, are you ready to tackle this week head on?
I am so ready to tackle this week head on. Loudbeard, this was an exciting time in Orlando. The AAF Orlando Apollos. We kicked butt and took names. We established ourselves as the best program of all time, the best franchise of all time. We are the boats of the AAF. And the Orlando Magic, they didn't want to be outdone by the Orlando Apollos. Yeah, Loudbeard. The Orlando Magic also won this weekend. They went up till Milwaukee, and they too kicked butt and took some names. The Orlando Magic utterly throttled the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, I know Giannis didn't play, but that doesn't matter. They're still the number one team in the East. They still got to show out, and our Orlando Magic went out and destroyed them. Go Magic.
Oh, yeah. Go Magic. I was seeing one of the highlights from this game. I didn't get a chance to catch it, but Jonathan Isaac was very disruptive.
Hey, man, he's balling out.
I know. 31 minutes, 17 points, 6 rebounds. But there was a play where he was sitting there, and he blocked the same dude like 2 or 3 different times on the same possession. He was really creating some havoc there in the middle. So I'm glad to see our early draft pick coming around. Maybe I left this guy for dead a little too early, but seeing some swag here with the Orlando Magic, seeing him look a little bit more confident than what we've seen in the past. You know, we finally get an all-star in Vooch, and now Aaron Gordon is playing at a pretty good level, and Jonathan Isaac's starting to rise up. So you're seeing some good play out of some of these Orlando Magic players. Man, maybe, Chris America, this may be blasphemous, but do you think they could make a run for that 8th seed in the East?
Well, Loudbeard, I snuck into the Orlando Magic locker room, and I heard Coach Clifford giving the team a speech after that. Let's take a listen.
All right, you guys, let's listen up. We won a game yesterday. And if we win one today, that's 2 in a row. We win one tomorrow, that's called a winning streak. It has happened before. So let's see some hustle. Let's jack it up a little. I got a feeling things are about to turn around for us.
Yes, Loudbeard. That was Coach Clifford in Atlanta. The Magic played again last night, and that speech right there, it motivated them. It got them fired up, and they destroyed the Atlanta Hawks, too, this weekend, Loudbeard. Man, it feels great to be an Orlando Magic fan. The Magic are back.
They are back, man. The Orlando Magic just out there killing it. 124 to 108, 124 points. I didn't know that this squad was even capable of such a thing. But they're doing it, and they're doing it well. You're seeing a lot of great action. And again, Jonathan Isaac, another big night out of the young, up-and-coming star, hopefully star. 17 points for him again last night. And you know what was amazing, Chris America?
What's that?
Every starter for the Orlando Magic had double digits in points. That's how you roll right there. It's
how
a
we
team
roll.
effort, man.
You know what, Loudbeard? I'm going to say it. It's the Markelle Fultz effect.
That guy's bringing some charisma, some action. I mean, he's not
And he hasn't
playing
even
yet,
played
but yeah, he doesn't even need to play.
I'm
he
pretty
can
sure
just
we're-
sit there and just he's maybe one of those guys. He's like the get back guy for
get back.
Sean McVay. Like, you don't understand how important that guy is. Where he's like getting Sean McVay back. That's what Markelle Fultz is doing. He's getting everybody into it. He's pumping them up. He's getting them ready. He's making sure they're all doing the right thing. He's a heck of a team manager. I'm going to just say it. He's the team manager. He's doing it.
He's the Rudy of the Orlando Magic.
That's right. Everybody needs a Rudy. Rudy, he makes it all happen. Everybody needs a little encouragement and enthusiasm, man. They all need it.
Yeah, so Loudbeard, I think we're undefeated since Markelle Fultz trade. And we're marching. We're storming the castle. We're storming the gates. We're coming for that 8th seed. So look out, Charlotte. Look out, Brooklyn. We're coming.
They're in trouble. They're in trouble. You know, Charlotte, they should have made some moves at the deadline. They didn't make any moves. All of a sudden, Orlando's like, all right, you're in our sights now. You don't want to make any trade moves? We're good enough to come and get you.
They could
that 8th seed right now, it's just looking so juicy for the Orlando Magic.
They could have traded for Markelle Fultz, but they stuck with that bum Kemba Walker. Okay, I went too far. I went too far.
Yeah. Too soon, Chris America. Too
Now,
soon.
Loudbeard, the Orlando Magic are not the only team that has been doing great since the trade deadline. The Dallas Mavericks had a great game yesterday. Your boy, Idanka.
Yeah, Luka
Donka. That's how you say his name, right?
Doncic.
Luka Doncic. Yeah, Luka Doncic. Big night last night. They stormed back, trailing. I don't remember how much they were trailing by, but I think it was double digits. And they stormed back to beat the Portland Trailblazers 102-101.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna nickname this guy the comeback kid. He has brought his team back and had so many game-winning drives and game-winning three-pointers at the buzzer. And he has a huge night last night. 28 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and he leads his Mavericks back. Man, this is the comeback kid right here. I like watching this guy. He is a ton of fun. And all of a sudden, the Dallas Mavericks' future is starting to look really, really bright. You got a unicorn, and you got this guy who he's got that clutch gene. A lot of teams are missing it, but this guy, I would put the ball in his hands ahead of a lot of other superstars in the league. With 10 seconds left, down by 2, this guy's he's gonna make things happen. To me, he is going to be the face of the NBA in probably 5 years from now. I'm telling you, Chris America, mark it on your calendar.
All right, I've been told.
It's been brought in. I brought it to you, right in your face, right there.
Well,
face of the NBA.
The Big Four. That's what they are now, Loudbeard. They're the Big Four of Philadelphia 76ers. They brought it to the Los Angeles LeBrons last night, absolutely embarrassing them, 143-120. Lakers coming off that big win Thursday night, that emotional win where Rondo hit the buzzer beater against the Boston Celtics. But then they rested up, went over to Philadelphia, probably did some sightseeing, saw the Liberty Bell, went to Benjamin Franklin's house, and then got embarrassed by the Philadelphia 76ers. Loudbeard, is this 76ers team, I claim that Toronto was the team to beat, but now, I don't know. I might be hemming and hawing. I'm riding that fence. The 76ers team impressed me last night.
Well, you say 4, but I've seen some of the media out there, some of the big outlets, they're deeming this the Fabulous 5, and the Fabulous is spelled with a PH because that's what the media likes to do. They like to get fancy.
Yeah. I like that.
So this is the Fabulous 5 or the Fantastic 5 or something like this. They've got some ridiculousness going on out there. But you say the 4, you're forgetting our man J.J. Redick is in the 4.
Oh, I forgot about Orlando
this,
Magic legend J.J. Redick.
This is a killer starting 5 when you've got Butler, Embiid, Simmons, Redick, and Harris. This
Orlando
right here,
Magic
this is the
legend Tobias Harris.
A lot of Orlando Magic legends on this team, and it's fantastic.
It is fantastic.
This
with the PH.
I mean, when you look at this could be the second best starting 5 in the NBA, top to bottom, top 5 right there. The 5 starters could be the second best starting 5 in the NBA. We know that who the number 1 is. We all know that. We're not going to say that they're better than Golden State. I'm not crazy. I'm not that crazy, Chris America. I can get crazy. But this fantastic 5, Tobias Harris comes in and it makes an immediate impact. It doesn't matter that he's coming into a new team and that we're worried about chemistry. When Butler came in, it didn't work quite right at first, but now all of a sudden Tobias Harris comes in and they're clicking on all cylinders. Harris has 22 points last night, and I'm telling you, Chris America, Philly all of a sudden looks dangerous.
But Loudbeard, that's not even the story, man. The story is Joel Embiid, the center, scoring nearly 40 points, 37 points from a center, Loudbeard. You do not see that from a traditional center like Joel Embiid is. He's not like your Nick Vucevic who can stretch the floor out and shoot, I don't think. Not that I've seen the times that I've watched the Sixers. He's that traditional. He's got to get rebounds and putbacks and have the team throw him down the ball so he can slam it in. 37 points from a center in today's NBA is impressive, but more impressive than that is holding LeBron James to 18.
Yeah, that is impressive. Man, LeBron.
If-
LeBron that's a sad story. Why do you got to bring up LeBron struggling with me?
Kyle Kuzma was the leading scorer for the Lakers. He actually scored 39 points. Kyle Kuzma was the point getter for both teams. He led in all points. You're not going to win many games, Loudbeard, if Kyle Kuzma is your leading scorer for the Lakers, are they?
No, you're not. And you know who your second leading scorer was? It wasn't LeBron James.
No, it wasn't.
It was JaVale McGee. Now, if your
JaVale
second
McGee.
leading scorer is JaVale McGee, are you going to win a game?
You're definitely not winning any games.
No, there's no way you're going to win that. So we're starting to see some of this star power over on the East really kick in. And Philadelphia looking good. L.A. struggling, man. You think that effects of this trade that never quite happened, do you think that's still affecting these guys? And do you think the team's going to need a little bit of time to heal from every player being on the trade block?
I do, and I think Thursday night when they beat the Celtics, I think that was an emotional win. It was an emotional response of kind of like, well, we'll show the world why we should have stayed here, and they did that. The thing is, Liebridge, you can't ride that for an entire – now we're at a half a season. You can't ride that for 40 games. It's just it gets exhausted, and then you actually have to play basketball. You have to actually execute plays, and you have to go against other teams who are better than you, and – I don't know why Lonzo Ball sat, but there was no Lonzo Ball last night either. I don't know if that just had to do with it was a scheduled, hey, we're going to rest Lonzo. I mean, the All-Star break is this weekend. Why are we resting players? Is it this weekend or next weekend?
Oh, man, you're going to ask me the tough questions. I don't remember. I got to look it up, man.
It's coming up soon to where you can say, hey, man, the All-Star break is going. You're not going to be a part of it, so you can chill out then. I don't know, man. You tell me. You follow the NBA closer than I do.
Well, I'm going to tell you what my theory is. One is the Lakers won the other night against the Celtics because the Celtics are a mess. And Celtics came out Saturday night, and they have a huge lead, 28-point lead at home. And they end up blowing it. They absolutely end up blowing it. And it wasn't against like a tough team. It's against the Clippers, man. The Clippers who traded away their best player, Tobias Harris. A Clippers team that's really kind of already mailed it in for the season. The Celtics blow that lead, a 28-point lead at home. So what do you think the fans in Boston do when their team loses that bad of a game when they had such a big lead?
If I know fans in Boston, they said, oh, that was a very tough loss, but we are good sportsmen, and we will just shake the hands of our opponents. We will buy a beer for everybody wearing a Clippers jersey in the arena. We will just respectfully say, good game, sir. I valued your sportsmanship.
Nope.
No?
You were way off. You were close, though.
No.
Like, it was absolutely really close.
I was close, but way off.
No. When you get booed at home, like your fans are standing up, and I'm surprised they weren't throwing beer cans on the floor. They were absolutely disgusted with how their team played in this game. You know, this is one of those situations where the Celtics, man, a year ago, we were kind of like, oh, man, the Celtics' future is bright. They got all these young players. They've got Kyrie. Kyrie's committed to it. And now all of a sudden it's like, I don't know if Kyrie's even going to stay with Boston after the end of the season. The young players all seem like they're taking a little bit of a step back this season. Gordon Hayward didn't come back the same guy after that horrendous injury. And Boston has become an absolute mess. And one of their veterans, Marcus Morris, he comes out and he says, man, the problem is our attitude. I see guys hanging their heads. These guys aren't competing at a high level. We just don't have the right attitude on this team. And he's right, man. They just don't. And to me, it's part of that is the leadership of that team, and to me, it's Kyrie. I don't think Kyrie is a leader. I don't think he's the number one guy on a team. He was a great compliment to LeBron, but I don't think he's that number one guy. Now, he ends up going out with some knee issues, and he's considered day-to-day, so he doesn't finish this game. He goes out, and when your leader goes out and he's always injured and he's always got something going on with him, but he's starring in movies that are going to be coming out about haunted houses in Oklahoma City, that's when you should be worried because he's not serious about what he's doing. So to me, the Celtics going in the complete wrong direction.
Somehow I knew you would steer this conversation to hate on my man Kyrie Irving. I knew you'd do it, Loudbeard.
Yep, well, it's true. It's all true.
I don't like the movie take, Loudbeard. I really don't. You know, nobody hates on LeBron for making movies. It's not like he's not made movies, made commercials. He's got his own production company now. Nobody's talking about him not being serious. Why you gotta hate on my man Kyrie?
All right, so out of the last 8 years, how many times has LeBron missed the finals?
He will miss none. He will miss one this year.
No.
So he's gonna miss his first one. Is it because he's making movies and production companies and stuff like that?
No, it's because he went to a terrible team. So,
it's
but
true.
Kyrie went to a good team with. Yeah,
no, he did.
That's the team he picked where he wanted to go. Basically,
it's baffling me, Loudbeard, that this Celtics team is as bad. They were honestly better without Gordon Hayward last year. They were clicking on all cylinders. So I'm blaming Gordon Hayward. Screw you, Gordon Hayward.
How dare you recover from a horrific injury, Gordon Hayward? Why don't you just stay hurt? Chris America.
Ruin everything.
It's terrible.
No, Loudbeard, I honestly, I don't know what it is wrong with this Celtics team. Maybe people who pay closer attention to the Boston Celtics can tweet at us. Tweet us at Chris Scout Team or at Scout Team Radio or at Loudbeard. Let us know what's going on with this Celtics team. Why are the Celtics this bad? I mean, the 5th seed, Loudbeard, I can understand 2nd or 3rd seed, maybe the 4th seed, but the 5th seed, where a team like I guess they got a pretty big lead against the next group of Nets, Hornets, and Pistons.
Yeah, but they're not in that same hemisphere with that first 4 teams. Now, Indiana, they might be falling out of that a little bit, so they might squeak into that 4th seed because of the injury to Victor Oladipo, but really, Boston doesn't have those injuries. I mean, other than Kyrie wanting to take time off here and there for various ailments. He's always got an elbow or a knee
you say
or something.
You say that, but the Pacers are on a 5-game winning streak. The Pacers are still killing it, man.
It's baffling. Isn't it?
I'm actually surprised that Oladipo went down and they're continuing strong. Where, like we'd mentioned with the Bucks, Giannis sat out and they got throttled by 20 by a team like the Orlando Magic. So, man, Pacers might be a tough out for teams. It's going to be one of those things where you're like, man, if they had Victor Oladipo this year, how far could they have gone into the playoffs? It really sucks to see. That's kind of like, the UCF Knights when your boy Milton went out, man. It's just, you hate to see injuries like that for a team that's doing so well. But we expected going into the season it would be Raptors, 76ers, Celtics, in whichever order you want. We figured they'd probably trade off 1, 2, and 3 seed all season long. We'd have some great, exciting games. But really, the Bucks and the Pacers had different plans for that season, did they not?
They did, and they've done it. They're doing it right, man. The Milwaukee Bucks, they look outstanding, and they don't have any injuries right now. So when Giannis is out there on the court, that's a tough out for any team to go into Milwaukee to face that team. And I'm surprised how well they're doing. Sometimes it takes a season like this where a team emerges, and we're finally seeing it. And we've talked about it in the past. LeBron out of the East, it makes it so much more competitive. Like, the playoffs this season are going to be so much fun on the East because it's going to be a new team in the Eastern Conference Finals. It's not going to be the Cavs. It's not going to be the Heat. It's going to be a new team, whether it's the Raptors or the Bucks or the Sixers. We're going to see one of these teams emerge, and it's going to be a fun battle to get there.
Not buying into the Heat this year, sitting at the 9th seed, huh?
Are you?
You never know with Eric Spoelstra as your head coach. And
okay.
Is Hassan Whiteside still on the Heat? I honestly have not watched a Heat game in forever.
Yeah, he is. He is. Doesn't mean anything, but he is.
He had like a good 5 minutes of fame.
Yeah. Now, the Heat, they have a good game last night. They play the Golden State Warriors, and they take them down to the very edge, the very end, but Golden State does what Golden State always does, and that is they win. But afterwards, Steph Curry gives some love out to Dwayne Wade. He says, man, Dwayne Wade has a lot left in the tank. And then Dwayne Wade comes back and he gives some love out to the Golden State. He says, man, Golden State's starting five is among the greatest ever. So it's a love fest over here. The Heat loving on the Golden State Warriors and the Golden State Warriors loving on Dwayne Wade. But one way or another, the Golden State Warriors always find a way to win. And the Heat, I'm still not impressed.
Yeah, Loudbeard. Well, the Heat didn't bring the heat, but we did today, so much so that the hour went by so quick again. We'd mentioned how Hassan Whiteside was a flash in the pan. So was this episode, man. I can't believe it's over.
I can't believe it's over either. But guess what, Chris America? We'll be back. We'll be back when?
Tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. and the rest of the week, Monday through Friday, here on 12 Ounce Sports Radio and the Barn Burner Network. You can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, wherever else you find your podcast. Make sure you subscribe and like this podcast. Woo! Bringing it hot.